Caution. It is important that you consult a physician and a trainer or coach before you begin. You should have a medical checkup before starting any exercise program.
What we're going to talk about in this session is we're going to talk about the shooting guard. Shooting guard's responsibilities are not as numerous as a point guard, but they're every bit as important. The whole emphasis on a team is everybody needs to know their role and take care of their own responsibility. Now, what do you think the shooting guard's primary responsibility is? Shoot the ball. Doesn't mean just shoot it, it means what else? Score. Make the shots, right? Critical. You don't want a shooting guard shooting 30% from the 3 or the 2-point area of the court. It's not a good scenario. General description of a shooting guard. Shooting guards are the silent assassins for your team. They need to hit open shots, have a great shot fake, hit shots off the dribble, shots off of screens, shots off the break, and shots off of out-of-bounds plays. Basically, shooting guard shoots the ball on the offensive end of the floor. It's not the only thing, but it is their primary responsibility. And that's what we're after. A shooting guard, typically, if it's a good shooting guard, is going to average 15 to 20 points a game. If you have a player that gets more points than that average, we're talking average, then really what you're talking about is a player that's more of a scorer than a shooter. Shooting guard should be somewhere around at least 15 points a game. If they're exceptionally good, they're going to be higher. Let's talk about who shooting guards have been in the past. Jerry West is the guy that is the shadow of the image on the NBA logo that's dribbling. That's Jerry West. Yes, it's Jerry West. That's who that was designed after. Jerry West was one of the most prolific shooters in NBA history. He was called, his nickname was Mr. Clutch. And he used to go out religiously every day, go out and take and make his 500 shots a day. Now remember, when Jerry West played, he would get in the playoffs and average, not average, but get 34, 42, 46 points. They didn't have a three-point line when he played. You talk about a shooter in college, the best shooter in college history was who? Pete. Absolutely, the Pistol. Pistol Pete Maravich. Career scoring average is 44.3. Now, 3 years, varsity, NCAA, Division I competition. Do you think he practiced? You know how many hours a day he said he practiced after practice? 4. 4 hours a day. He didn't do that as much in the pros. He averages in the 20s in the pros. But 4 hours a day outside of practice. This is what he lived for. I'm not telling you to go practice 4 hours a day. You need to have a balanced life. But I want you to understand why he was so phenomenal. Now, you want to add insult to injury? If you've studied anything about basketball, we've told you to become a student of the game. Pistol Pete Maravich's shots, the majority of his jump shots were out about here off the dribble. Is that true, Coach? Yeah. Did he have a three-point line when he played? No. Do you think that would have been up closer to 50? Mm-hmm. That's astounding. Great shooter. Jerry West was a great shooter, 500 shots a day. Anybody know who Lisa Leslie is? Center of the Sparks. How good is she?
Very good.
Is she like first team WNBA? Olympic gold medalist. Good shooter? Good scorer? Terrific shooter, right? She goes out and makes her hundreds of shots every day. If you find a player that you believe is a good shooter, go do your homework, you'll find that they all have similar habits. If you want to be a shooter, you have to do as they have done. Larry Bird went out and took 203-point shots before every game. Not the day before, day of. 200. You're saying 200. Well, I'll be tired if I do that. I won't be fresh for the game. That's what you're thinking, aren't you? How many of you have ever shot for about an hour the day of a game? Did you have a good shooting game? Typically you do. Typically you will. It's an amazing phenomenon, but that's how it works. The fundamentals never change. Just the names of the players that use them. Lisa Leslie, Jerry West, Pete Maravich, Larry Bird. You look at Glenn Rice today.
What I look for in a shooting guard is he's got to be able to shoot the ball. There's some shooting guards you see that can't shoot. They're big, strong, they look good, but they can't shoot. He's got to be able to shoot, bottom line.
Let's talk about offensive responsibilities of a shooting guard. One, first and foremost, you have to have the ability to hit the big shot. Does that mean someone's hanging all over you and you're fading out of bounds when you hit it? No, of course not. It means it's a good shot. It has to be a good shot, but you have to hit the big shot. Are you going to hit every big shot? No. What you're going to do is shoot 50%. But in order to hit the big shot, there's an old saying in basketball. You have to be man enough to take it and good enough to make it. It's real simple. That's what a shooter does. They're man enough to take it. They're good enough to make it. You got to have the ability to hit the big shot. You have to know how to use screens. That means very simply, you got a big guy setting a screen for you here, and you're here, and we talked about this a little bit. Do you just want to pop out here and rub shoulders with this guy to get open? No, what you want to do, you got a defender here, you want to take your defender under the basket, then come to use a screen. That allows your teammate to have a chance to set you up. It also means the defensive player has to go farther to cover you when you get the ball, doesn't it? Most players are too anxious and they just take off. They never get a screen set up. Screens are meant to set you up, to free people up. It's part of a team concept. Take your man under the rim, you come out, use the screen correctly by rubbing shoulders tight with your own player. Why do you rub shoulders with your teammate? Correct. So the other player won't squeeze in between you, right? That's exactly why you have to know how to use screens. You have to know how to read screens. How is this different? Well, let's take a look. Taking your man under the rim, you want to get the ball, you come back out this way, and your man trails you this way. Do you want to come out to the wing? No, what you want to do is feel where the defensive player is. If the defensive player is coming bottom side, you want to come up toward the high wing. It's called the high wing. It's not the top of the key. This area up here is the high wing. Because the defensive player has to come farther. If the defensive player that's covering you comes topside, and you have a smart point guard, and you're here, what you want to do is do what we call a fade to the corner, and the point guard can hit you on the way out, while this player has to come all the way around the horn to get to you. That allows you to catch and shoot. It allows you to shot fake. It allows you to dump into the post quickly. Critical point for shooting guards to know how to read screens. Now, you can always have teammates to practice with every day to go out and do this. What would happen if you wrote this down and scripted it out like this 5 times a day? How long would that take you? 2 minutes? Do you think you would internalize it? You want to be a shooting guard? Write it down 5 times a day. You will internalize it. You'll start to recognize what's happening on the court around you instead of run confused and just try to get somewhere to get the ball in play. It's part of intelligent offensive basketball. A shooter needs to have 4 or 5 scoring moves. what we're talking about here is a variety of shots. You have to be able to shoot out of a set position, a triple threat. You have to be able to catch and shoot, which is a second quicker. You have to be able to shot fake. How many of you ever gotten in front of a mirror with the ball on your shoulder pad and just worked on shot fakes to see what you look like? Have you ever done that? Hopefully you have. You're talking about 10 repetitions a night. If you can learn to sell yourself on your shot fake, then you're definitely going to sell the defender that is under emotional trauma because you just got open for a free look. You have to sell the defender that you're going to shoot the ball. If you have a good shot fake, it quadruples your moves. Because you can shuffle dribble on the 3 to the right, a lateral shuffle, take a jump shot. You can shuffle dribble to your left. You can shot fake. You can take a one-step dribble and get into the lane, take a jump shot. You can take a jump shot, one-step dribble to your right. You just quadrupled your moves just with the simple shot fake. Boom. Makes you a better shooting guard. You have to have excellent ball handling skills, dribbling ball handling skills. Why?